Hi everyone, this is Good for the Game TV. You're watching the Handicap, our flagship rugby betting show, Rugby Chat That Matters, every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. And well, we've got a cracking weekend of rugby lined up, at least 6 internationals that we can talk through today. And we've got some of the sharpest rugby minds around, and Oracle Rugby as well, joining us in the studios to talk through that. But let me start off, first of all, with a man who's going to probably increase our female viewership. He's been off for 3 weeks. I've been getting phone calls from women. I've been getting emails. Where is Couch Critic? And I replied to your mom, Couch, and I said, don't worry, he'll be back from holiday soon. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Brent. Yeah, I think we're doubling the female viewership today from 1 to 2, that sounds like.
Yeah, your mom and mine. But anyway, good to have you back. Look forward to your thoughts a little bit later. Let's nip down to Durban, where Oracle Rugby is sitting there. Oracle, I've had a hell of a day at the office, but all I've been seeing is YouTube notifications. Oracle Rugby's posted a new video. Oracle Rugby's posted a new video. I haven't had a chance to look at them, which I actually prefer going into the show because I like to not know what you're going to say, even though sometimes I do know what you're going to say, if that makes any sense.
This week, you don't know what I'm going to say, Brett. Yeah, so I did put one out last night. I prepared all the pages, so all I had to do, I did the videos yesterday as well. All I had to do today was just type out the text. So I bashed out 4 previews tonight. Just got the one. There's no price as yet. I couldn't find a price for Italy, Georgia. That's the only one I'm waiting for. Other than that, yeah, I had good. Didn't watch any of the golf. I'm going to watch some highlights after your EPL show later. Yeah, otherwise good. How are you?
No, very, very well, thanks. Must say, I haven't been on the best of runs ever since that Western Province went belly up in the Curry Cup. I cannot do a thing right. And I mean, I had a shocking weekend. And I only placed 3 bets. I was away on cricket tour in Bloemfontein, but all 3 of them were big bets. And all 3 of them got absolutely rolled. I went overs in the England-South Africa game. I mean, it didn't even come close. I then had I think an overs playing one of the Pro 14 games. And yeah, in the end, I mean, my last hope was Lucas Glover, and I see he finished outside the placings in the golf. And I read the Good for the Game forum today. It turns out the guy got a triple bogey on the 72nd hole to cost me a place. It was one of those weekends for me. I'm really hoping to turn the tables, and hoping one of the men who can give me some advice on how to turn the tables is Henrik Swart down in Cape Town. How are you, Henrik? Nice top.
I'm good, Brent. Thanks. I like the box this week, so that's why I've got the Springbok jersey on. I should know by now. If I left the jersey on, I like the team. So I didn't have a good weekend last weekend. I called the England correct, and I was lucky at the end. And then I went on the Maoris, lost to the Maoris, and lost to Japan. So all in all, it was a good time last weekend.
I don't know, guys, mate, if it's just me, I am battling a bit with Henrik sound. So maybe, Gavin, can you hear Henrik okay?
He was buffering a little bit, Brent, but I did hear that he lost on the Maoris, won on England, and that's got the gist of it.
Okay, we'll monitor it. Guys in the live comments, just let us know if the sound's not great, because Henrik can phone back in on his cell phone as well. That won't be a problem. But Couch Critic, we haven't really touched on you in terms of what you were up to. You're obviously on holiday. And what did you say on Twitter you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, no, Brent, I was just spend a good week in the bush, so that was great, and got back just in time to watch the Curry Cup final, and not only did my childhood favorite team, the Sharks.
Guys, I thought I'd choose this opportunity to practice the mute button on Heinz check, so he can chat away about the Curry Cup. We're not going to hear a bloody word he says. Thanks very much. I'm going to bring you back on. Let me bring you back on, Hein, by saying, listen, the Curry Cup book was 2 weeks ago. We're not interested in it anymore. But well done. You were firmly on the Sharks. You pretty much taunted Henrik and myself on that. But a good financial win for you as well. And I won't mute you this time.
No, it was decent. So that was a good one. And yeah, I don't know. It's lately I've been slightly up, I suppose, but. Yeah, nothing big. So hopefully we can really knock things now into this international tour. After the first one, we could see some form, and hopefully we can make some good profits in the coming games. I've been doing a little bit of cricket as well, so it's cricket season. So things are definitely stepping up punting wise. That's for sure.
Well, just to mention to all of you watching, if you didn't catch the GG Gaming Gone Mad show, we've got some great specials that we're running in terms of some big betting vouchers and that. So watch that show. The details are at the end. And yeah, we'll also have them up on the Good for the Game website as well. But guys, I want to start with the England game. And Hein, let's stay with you. It's England against New Zealand. I was saying on the previous show that This game was being touted a couple of years ago. People couldn't wait for England to play New Zealand because at that stage, England were marching through World Rugby on an unbeaten run. And of course, New Zealand are the team to beat. And people were almost seeing this as a sort of a World Cup final in the making. The game's perhaps lost a little bit of its luster because England haven't been quite the same force in the last year or so. But it's still a cracking game and one that should be good to watch. I'm imagining more entertaining probably than what we watched last week. And the question is the handicap, 13.5 points. Which way do you go?
Yes, definitely, Brent. That's very true. I think Brocky on your previous show had it right as well. You know, if this game was a year ago, it would have been great and would have been a real tussle, and you definitely expect it to be within 10 points the result. But as things stands at the moment, you know, we've seen what the All Blacks can do when they switched on, and I think this past weekend we saw that England aren't that great shakes at the moment. I must say, I think a lot of us are losing sight of the fact that they were actually pretty decent in the second half. I think they played a decent brand of rugby in the second half, but a lot of the media and the things I read is not great in the English camp at the moment, and they're not all for Eddie's selection. So I think everything isn't grand there. So the All Blacks definitely, to me, they're the way to go. The only question is, I'm thinking which way to back them, because obviously they're a good second half team, but again, as I said, England finished strong this past weekend, so it's also a bit to consider there. But I actually think Eddie Jones will really get them piping hot out of the change rooms there. But I mean that's only going to last you so long, and then you're going to come up short against the more skilled and just the better team. So at this stage, I'll probably look for something. I'm thinking the second half handicap for me.
Second half handicap will probably be about 7.5 points. Let's go down to Henrik in Cape Town for his opinion on this game. Henrik, the line's been pretty stable all week. I actually priced this one at 8.5, so I'll put my hand up and say I got the handicap wrong. It's not that everyone else is wrong and I'm right. But I thought 8.5. It opened at 12.5. It's been hovering around that level. If anything, I'd have to say betting sentiment for the All Blacks for the handicap.
I like the All Blacks here. It's my second, I'd say it's my second best bet for the weekend. I took minus 12.5 All Blacks. See it's moved to 13 and 14 in places. I agree with Ian. It's probably you're going to have to decide whether you're going to take the full-time handicap or the second half handicap. I'm probably going to take both. I'm already on the full-time one. I'm going to take the minus 7 or second half handicap as well. Because the All Blacks bench is always strong and they finish good. I like it that Brody Retallick and Goodhue's back. They both would boost the team. So yeah, I can't really have England at the moment. I was on them last weekend, but they didn't offer anything. They didn't really look like scoring a try. So in All Blacks here, and I'm pretty confident in All Blacks in the minus.
Right, let's go down to Durban. Gavin, I haven't seen your video. Have you taken a firm view on this game or more of a watching brief?
Yeah, Brent, it's a bit of a medium play for me. I've gone a bigger price. In fact, I went a bigger price with just about every game I've played this week. I took minus 19.5. I think I got it at 16-10 or 15-10 or something like that. I stuck 2 units on it. I think New Zealand will win this game by more than 20. I think the biggest problem here facing the English is they couldn't find the try line against South Africa. Yeah, they got lucky. They almost got lucky, should I say, a couple of times. But I cannot see them scoring a try against New Zealand. I know that I'm probably giving away my play here on the GG Gaming go. But I actually forgot to have a go last week. I was going to go no try scored for England. There's no ways I would have gotten Corsi, though. I was probably going to go somebody else, probably a Marks or someone else. So I wouldn't have won that competition anyway. But this week, there's no doubt I'm going no try scored for England. I'm just going to find the try scorer for New Zealand. I think England will be lucky to get 10 points here. They battled to get 10 against us last week. I don't think they're going to get 10. I think it's going to be like 46 or something like that. I don't know. I haven't gone massive, just a small play because I've spread my money over 5 games. My biggest play is another game after that.
Right, so all of the boys seem to be leaning towards New Zealand, which makes me feel a bit awkward about what I'm about to say. But I reckon England can beat this handicap. You know, I think that England can challenge New Zealand is in the tight exchanges. If they can drag New Zealand into something of a scrap, I'll give them a chance, and I'll give them a chance certainly of beating the handicap. And I was speaking to my good mate, Brendan O'Connell, who Gavin knows quite well as well. We were having a bit of a WhatsApp chat earlier. And he's also starting to lean towards England. And that doesn't necessarily mean a good thing because both of us are horribly out of form. But yeah, I just think this game might be a little bit closer than what people think. And at this stage, I am leading there. I see Yaka Okamp saying go for points. Just some other comments that caught my eye was Ruan Fourie saying his form's pretty similar to mine at the moment, which Ruan, I really do feel sorry for you on that one because I'm really going through a lean spell. But yeah, the weather will be crucial, as Paul Peter says on the live chat as well. We're gonna when you're looking for the total points plays. But let's jump straight to the.
Brent, I just want to say one more thing. I think if you're looking to back England, if I were you, I'd wait till 5 minutes before the game. I think the price is you're going to get a much better price. I think most of this price is going to be punted up by the New Zealand punters.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. It could well be the case. I'm certainly not rushing into back them. It's not something I'm particularly strong on. And I mean, you guys will know as punters when you're not in form. I've gone from probably the form of my life for a few months to after 3 weeks later, I suddenly don't know where my next win is coming from. And it's amazing when you look at it like that. It's hard to have any real confidence in the game. And I'll probably certainly be listening to what you guys say and maybe following something that you're strong on. But let's move. We'll come back to the other internationals as well. But let's move on to the
Brent, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I just come in there? I think the big thing that I also want to mention is it's going to be interesting to see Damian McKenzie start a big test match like that at fullback. Obviously, Ben Smith is almost the ideal candidate, especially in those conditions. He's going to be silky smooth. He's not going to do any errors. He's going to be pinpoint. Damian McKenzie, that can go a bit both ways. He can be fantastic, but he can also do a few things that you wonder why the heck is he doing this. This is not Super Rugby against the Lions. He's got to tighten things up. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see what he does there. And then Hendrik also touched on it. It's going to be great having Brody Retallick back for them. And actually, giving away my punt there, I think a good bet could be Retallick for first try scorer. I mean, he's something like 35-1, so that's a nice little nibble there if you want to have a go. The other thing, and Hendrik said that as well, that's the difference why I always or often go for the All Blacks is the bench difference. You just got to say that they've got better quality from the bench. TJ Paranara coming on, and then again for the try scorer, Dane Coles is a last try scorer, is a nice little go there. I think he'll be close to 20-1, so have a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, last week, taking point for All Blacks depth. I mean, you had Japan, I think there was plus 37.5 Japan against what everyone was saying, and correctly was a second string All Blacks, although I don't think anyone said it was a weak All Black side. There's no such thing. But still, 37.5 points seemed pretty steep. I certainly joined in the party there. We made it our best bet on the Good for the Game newsletter. And in the end, Japan sort of had to come back to lose by 38 points. It just shows the depth of New Zealand. So will we get a scrapped this week, or are we going to get a free-flowing game? I think the more free-flowing it is, the more it's going to suit the All Blacks. Going to be very interesting. Later that night, of course, we've got France up against South Africa in Paris. I had a look at the stats, and I'll start with Hendrik. I had a look at the stats in this game from a total points perspective, Hendrik. There's really a history of low-scoring games between these sides in Paris. But South Africa also have a pretty good record against the French in Paris.
Yes, Brent, I also noted that on my notes that the games have been very low scoring. So I'll be having a look at the points lines there. Only problem is Nigel Owens is the ref, and his games tend to be a bit more open. So yeah, I like the box here. The box are my best bet this weekend. I took -3.5 at just under even money on Monday, and I also took the box at 7-10 that came out later Sunday, price that up as shortened. But I see the box shortened, and then there's been some money for France. I think all of the box went up again to 50-20. The box, yeah, I like the. I think we should get some backlash from the box after last week. There should be they will be hurting after that last decision. So I like the box strong. It's my strongest bet in the world here.
Hendrik, I am battling a bit with the sound. I don't know about the other guys.
Okay.
They're also battling. So maybe might be an idea to try come in on your cell phone and see if we have any better luck. They're just battling a little bit there. Hein, we'll move across to you now for this game. There's been quite a bit of support for South Africa in the week. I don't think the lines moved that much, but I have noticed a little bit of a shift in favour of the visitors and some complaints. I can't remember, was it Brody or Brad Breath? I think it was Brody on the Good for the Game forum saying he thinks France have picked a really poor team, certainly much poorer than they could have selected. And Sean Nicholas, who was on the show last week, he was saying golden bet, South Africa to win the game.
Yeah, you got to pay attention when you see that golden word come up there on the Good for the Game forum. Yeah, Brent, I think it's gone out from about 2.5 to 5.5 in places. So definitely there has been some movement, and I've heard, but I've had a look at the French team, and it doesn't look. It looks the kind of some familiar suspects there. Bastro is still in there, so I don't think it'll be a particularly bad team. But I'm not as clued up with them. But yeah, I'm with Hendrik. I think the Boks are going to be very motivated for this one. I mean, Rassie really can't afford to go 2 from 2 in terms of losses, you know, or 0 from 2. So he's really going to have to try and get this one turned around. And you know, you have to look at last week's All You Can Go on, and they've got a better team than last week with Fafback and Willie. Whether you think it's the best idea for them to play them or not, they're definitely the better candidates. So it's a stronger team, except for Etzebeth. But I mean, 2-4-1, it's a better team. And obviously, England to me are still a bit of a better team than France. So if you look at it like that, and we probably should have beaten England, then looking at those form lines, we should be beating France. So obviously the French it's like almost one of those rules. Just like I don't easily oppose New Zealand, it's always tough going against France because you never know what you can get on the day. So they're a very volatile team, and I don't think if you're a punter you should ever be doing 5 units on them either way. So it won't be my biggest play there, but I'm also looking to try and get on the Boks because I just think we can handle them up front and we can handle them at the back. So I think we can take care of business there. I will share my bet later.
Well, one of the beauties about the Good for the Game forum is that we have punters from all around the world that come on. And I see Pierre Killian, he's come on now. That's Pierre Bull, if I'm not mistaken. He plays a lot of our Super Brew games. And he's saying initially they were packing raincoats. They're heading across to Paris for the game. But they've now heard that the weather looks pretty good, so it shouldn't be too bad. And, so the weather, of course, is going to be crucial in this game. I must say I don't have a hell of a firm view on this one. I read Chris's preview, and Chris is going here for the either team to win by 1 to 7 points, including the draw, which is a bet I quite like if you fancy a tight game. And I think with these sides traditionally playing low-scoring tight games in Paris, it could be a big runner. But I'm wondering if Mr. Oracle Rugby's got a firmer view on it.
Yeah, Brent, I think at 1 to 7 you've just called now, it's probably a better go than what I've done. I've gone for the French here. I've taken the 14 to 10 to win the game. I've got to disagree with Han quite dramatically here, actually. I think if England played France this week and anywhere else other than England or France, I think France would win the game by 20. I think England were very lucky last week. I think the French are far better than the English. And, look, we have gone over there and we've won the odd game. I know we've won by 20 before. But I don't think there's more than a couple of games where we've won by more than sort of 6 or 7 points here. So, if anything, an absolute fantastic South African team would have to play a really bad French team to win this game by 10. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think it's a bit of value in the French price here. I know that a lot of guys are saying that South Africa is their best bet. And, if it's your best bet, that's great. But it's not my best bet. And I'm rather having a smaller go on the French at 14 to 10 to win the game. And by the sounds of it, I think we may even get 16 or 17 to 10. I may have a bit more. And if the handicap goes up to 7.5 or 8.5, I'm definitely going to have a decent handicap strike as well. I don't think South Africa are going to win this game by more than 5 points. If they do win it, it'll be a couple, 2 or 3 by a drop goal or penalty. The French are definitely tough. They're definitely tough at 9 o'clock at night local time. South Africa's not used to playing at that sort of time. It's cold. As you said, the guy on the forum now, on the comments, has just mentioned they were expecting rain. I don't know. South Africa spent the week filming videos on how Rassie was teaching people how to tackle. I don't know. They look like they're enjoying themselves. I saw a photo with Esterhuizen and his girlfriend walking in Paris. I don't know. They don't look like they're taking it seriously. It looks like a holiday to me. The French are not going to be like that. I'm not all over France, but I'm certainly on France, and I'm nowhere near South Africa.
Hey, Henrik, you got to wonder if Gavin takes his rugby tipping seriously. He won't spend any time near his wife when he's researching a game, eh?
Yeah, Brent, he likes, he's on social media a lot at the moment. It looks like. I hope my feed is a bit better. I'm on the phone now.
Well, so far you get the thumbs up from me. That sounds a lot better.
Okay, just one thing I forgot to say now, and especially with Oracle being on the French, I always remember when the France player, I remember Neil Andrews on the show that you've been on quite a few times as well on Saturday mornings. Neil Andrews, he always says there's only 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and the French will let you down.
And I can vouch for that over the years, eh?
Yeah, no, that's it. I always used to watch you guys on Saturdays when you were still on that show. I just watched the rugby section and then didn't watch any further.
Yeah, I used to enjoy it as well. I must say that's actually why I wanted to get involved and start in the YouTube shows as well. I guess just to mention there that, yeah, we've got a last try scorer special on the GG Gaming show. So take a look at that one. 27,000 Rands worth of free bets potentially up for grabs. If you could name the French last try scorer and the last try scorer for the Springboks. And Hein, you're looking at the ceiling as if you're maybe thinking about which way you're going to go on that. You got any thoughts? Would you throw in the substitutes? You got any thoughts for that one?
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe you should be considering a French player now that Oracle is so positive there on the last try scorer from the box. That's probably where you've got to really think long and hard, because I don't see Elton Jantjies scoring. Cheslin Colby maybe back there in his stomping ground. So let's take Cheslin Colby there for last try scorer, I think.
Cheslin Colby, I even see Elton Jantjies on the bench. Maybe Gavin will have a go at him. He's always enjoyed all the Jantjies. But it should be good. There are lots of other markets to talk about. I'm looking forward to watching that game. We're having a bit of a braai early in the day, but I'm hoping everyone's left by that stage and I can just relax on the couch and enjoy the game. Guys, any of you fancy anything else before we move on to the other internationals in the Bok game? I'll watch. Gavin definitely doesn't. He's popped out of the screen there for a second. So let's have a look at some of the other games that are taking place. I'm just going to pop across quickly and let's go back to the Scotland v Fiji game, guys. We've got Handicap here, very much, I think I came out with 14.5 and it's sitting at 15.5. So very much where people would expect it. And Gavin, let's start with you on this one. Fiji, are they a team that you can back with any confidence? Or on the other hand, can you back against them with any confidence? Or is this a game that you'd rather leave?
No, I've had a go, yeah, Brent. Yeah, so for me, this handicap is a little bit disrespectful, I think, a little bit too high. But it is tier 1 versus tier 2, and I've got a sort of a personal rule. I don't go big on those games. I've won on them and I've lost on them, but the reality is you never know what you're going to get. These guys are part-timers. They got jobs, most of them. I know that the ones that are playing. They don't play at home. They're playing in Europe somewhere and all in New Zealand and wherever. So it is a dangerous game to have a big bet on, but certainly a little bit of value for me in the plus. I've actually, again, I've taken a bigger plus. I've taken a plus 11.5 at 15/10. I think it'll be a little bit closer. It's a bit of a revenge game. If you remember, Scotland went over to Fiji in June. I know I was on the Scottish that day, and the Fijians scored right at the end and won the game by 2 or 3 or 5. I know it was a handful. They were losing before the try, so it was definitely below 5. Yeah, I just think there's a little bit of value in. They've played a couple of times in Murrayfield before. Scotland have only beaten this handicap once. Although Scotland have had a good year, they've beaten England and France, and obviously their tour game against Argentina was something not to be forgotten. And but again, Fiji's also had a good year. They haven't, for me, they haven't shot the lights out, but they haven't been rubbish. And yeah, a little bit of value taking the plus here. Any plus for me under 16.5 is value at 9 to 10 or bigger. I just can't see Scotland running away with this game.
Right, Henrik, are you in agreement with Oracle there?
Yeah, Brent, I agree with Oracle. I'm not confident in this one, but I've had a quick look at Fiji's form, and they've been in good form the last year or so. So yeah, I just also think I think they will stay within 2 scores here. This handicap is just about maybe 3, 4, 5 points too high. So a small play, but I'm also on the Fijians here.
Could well be a game where you want to look at in-running options as well, because Fiji strike me as the type of side that you're not really sure which Fiji side's going to rock up each time. I mean, I always think back, I think it was a quarterfinal in the World Cup of 2007 where they played against South Africa, and they came jolly close to knocking us out the competition. I mean, they were just absolutely inspired. So if that sort of inspiration rocks up, then I guess you'd want to be on the Fiji plus. But I can also see a scenario, I must be honest, where Scotland pull clear and win comfortably in the end.
Definitely, I was actually thinking, I think your plus handicap could be a runner for a late try by Fiji or a late couple of tries by Fiji. I actually think that might be your best bet, because I think Scotland, I mean, the fact is they play more hardcore rugby week in and week out than the Fijians. Yes, I think they have improved a bit by playing in Europe, so I don't think traveling is that big an issue. They're not too worried about their beaches and things being away from that anymore, so I think they can be competitive. But I just think Scotland are a better organized team. I mean, obviously, I don't know much about the Fijians. I know that you got to look out for that Nakararawa that's at lock, the number 5. He's going to run with the ball in one hand all over the place, so that's going to be pretty entertaining. But But the Scots have Stuart Hogg at fullback and Finn Russell at or whatever. What's his name? At fly off, and he's pretty magic there. So I think for a change, the Scots actually have some steppers and some runners, so it's not going to be boring rugby from them. So they can actually show Fiji something at the back as well, and at the front they're gonna bully them. They don't bully a lot of people, but they'll bully the Fijians. So I'd actually include a low Scottish handicap in a multiple or two if I later in the weekend or closer to the game. But no, I wouldn't be rushing into a plus. But as I said, maybe a late score from Fiji could still save your bacon on something like plus 16 or plus 15. But again, it's a volatile team, the Fijians. It could go either way. But as I said, maybe a late try or two could leave you buggered, because I mean Scotland could lead by 20 at the break and then let them back in the second half. So that's also something to consider.
Always a danger when you're placing on the big handicap. So Emil Korf just saying Gonova on the wing. I've watched him play. Absolutely powerful brute that. And Nadalo for Fiji, says Yako Okamp. He also points out Hugh Jones having a bit of a lean spell. I mean, when Jones started playing for Scotland, he couldn't stop scoring tries, but he is battling a little bit now. Guys,
he's not in the 23, Hugh Jones, this week, huh?
Oh, okay. Thanks, Yaku, for sticking me away there, mate. Much appreciated. Hey, guys, anything else on this game before we move on to the next one? Just whack your mute button off or whatever if you fancy anything. Otherwise, I'll start the chat on the next game, which, of course, is Wales against Australia.
Yeah, Brent. I was going to say, had Hugh Jones played for Western Province, there might have been a different result. I don't know.
Don't make me mute you if you're going to start talking Curry Cup, eh?
I think there might be a bit of points in this game as well. Two exciting teams, so we'll have to see if we can maybe get a low points quote on this game.
Yeah, could well be. Especially, I mean, the way the Fijians run the ball, and I think a lot's going to. The start of the game is going to be important. I'd sort of be hoping that Scotland maybe do pull clear early, and then the game really opens up. If Fiji sort of stay in touch, then there is every chance that it could still be low scoring. So interesting to see what the quotes are. If weather's decent, I'd expect the quotes to be around 53, 54 on this game. Henrik, what do you think? Somewhere around there?
I was hoping for a bit lower, but I think you might be right. The bookies will probably take into account that it's
you hoping for 33.5 or something like that. I don't think the bookmakers, unfortunately, the bookmakers. I was
hoping for 48, 47, 48. That's what I was hoping for, but I'm probably one try short with that.
Okay, well, let's move on to Wales up against Australia. That's at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. There's been a bit of money, I think, for Australia here. There was sort of plus 2.5, plus 3.5 Australia early in the week. I see now just popped onto Sunbet because they got a nice layout for their rugby. You can see all the odds at the same time. And they are plus 1.5 now, Australia. And Henrik, let me start with you there. The Aussies have got a great record against the Welsh. Does it end this weekend?
Brent, I've taken the Welsh here. This is also one that I'm not very confident on, but I've taken the Welsh because Australia, they haven't been good. I'm sure I'm going the same route as Oracle because he's been taking Australia on the whole time. I like the Welsh at home. I like Warren Gatton as coach. So I just think at home they'll be all right.
Excellent. So you're on the Welsh, Hein?
Yeah, again, the Welsh, just like the Scots and even the Irish, they've developed their backline play a little bit. They're not as one-dimensional, so they can actually match the Aussies out wide. And in the pack, there's only one winner there. I mean, they're gonna outmuscle the Aussies. They haven't got power there. So I mean, if you look at it face value, there's only one winner in it. So if I can get eventually a 9 to 10 on, probably the best will be 8 to 10 on Wales. I might take the 8 to 10 or the handicap. Or I might take both. So I'm definitely interested in Wales here, and I'm pretty sure Oracle is going to be jumping at them at those prices because, as I said, they might get lucky and the Aussies get a Falau high kick and runs 80 meters or something, but the Welsh should win this 7 out of 10 times.
Right, and Chris just popping on. He's obviously preparing as well for English Premier League show at 10 o'clock, but he's just popping on and saying he likes the Welsh 1 to 12. I've just asked him for a price. I imagine it's about 16 to 10. I see in the comment I said 1 to 13, so that's of course 1 to 12. But he also says he wouldn't put anyone off the 1 to 7 result here as well. He does enjoy that bet, and I must admit I think it's quite a nice one. Gavin's shaking his head feverishly. I'm guessing this is the game you got a big play. You hate the Aussies. Well, you don't hate the Aussies, but you don't rate the Aussies.
Oh, look, I love rugby and I enjoy Australian rugby, Brent, but at the moment, I don't think any Australian is enjoying Australian rugby. Look, going back to Chris's 1 to 70, I think you're wasting your time. You've wasted 7 points at least. You probably wasted the other 7. I'm taking -6.5. I also got that at 15 to 10. You know, this handicap gets a bit bigger. I may even take like the likes of -9.5 or -10.5 at 3 to 1 or 33 to 10 if I can get it. I got to tell you, if Australia were playing England and GG Gaming had their first try scorer 25 grand, I'd go no try scored on either team. I can't see Australia scoring a try here. I think Australia will be lucky to get 10 points in this game. I think Wales is, never mind the 8 times they've lost in a row. Yeah, this one's race over. This one you can put the result in already and pay the punters. It's just by how many Wales will win by.
They've offered you even money, Australia, under 20.5 points, you take it.
How much credit have I got, Brent?
What do you say? An even 500.
You're on. Done.
Okay, even 500. 21 points or more for Australia, I win. 20 points or less for them, you win.
We'll even go, why don't we just go 20 draw no bet. 21 or more, 19 or less. We're done.
20,
there we go.
No bet. That's a confident man. Yeah. Let me ask you, Hein, would you be going with me or with Gavin on that one?
Oh, Brent, I think you're giving your money away there, eh? You definitely, now you're being too kind.
We'll see what happens on that one. Guys, anything more on that game before we move on?
Is Chaka still the coach?
Chaka's still the coach and Mourinho is still the coach of Manchester United. I happened to see I think you got it pinned to your profile. I saw that thing, you know, will they be gone by Monday? That was about 3 months ago. The boys are still kicking. They're going strong.
It was actually a great poll, wasn't it? That particular weekend.
It was a good poll. Just as a matter of interest on polls, I did a Twitter poll on the Nedbank Golf Challenge saying who prefers December or the current November event, and it was about 70-odd% in favour of December. And I won't harp on it here because this is obviously a rugby show. But gee, I do miss the Nedbank Golf Challenge in December. It was something that used to signal the start of the holidays for me. And a big bet. But anyway, we won't talk.
Not only that, Brent, I missed the being able to switch the channels and actually watch the pairing you wanted to. I mean, I remember that. That was great.
Those are the glory days, eh? You could watch your pairing all the way through. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't quite get that anymore. It's still a good tournament. We've got plenty of quality. And I'm personally hoping that the quality at the top of the leaderboard continues to roll. Let's have a look at what we've missed. It's Ireland up against Argentina. And here we've got a handicap. I went in at 12.5. I see the bookies have come out at 16.5. It's been fairly stable. I think I'm going to come to Oracle last on this one because I do have a feeling he'll have a firm view on this, but I haven't seen his video. I saw something on Twitter or something that suggested. So let me go pop across to Henrik there. 16.5. The Irish, they absolutely hammered Italy. I'm not too sure of the team selections last week, but they hammered them in Chicago, Henrik. Do you dare oppose the Irish, who I think are going to win the Rugby World Cup in 2019?
Brent, this is the only video of Oracle that I've seen so far, but I'm not going to delve into that. I'm sure you'll enlighten us just now. I'm on the Irish here. I'm not a big bet again, but I just the defense is very good. So as good as the Argentines have been, I just think the Irish, tactically, they're very good. Joe Smith is a brilliant coach, and I think they will shut out the Argentines. I will actually be looking at unders on Argentine points here. And yeah, I've taken -16.5 on Ireland. The number 1 players didn't play in Chicago, like you said. They played the second team there, and the second team did very good against Italy, also Italy's second team. But yeah, so the first team players of the Irish should be fresh. The Argentines, they haven't played in a while. Well, obviously not either, but yeah, the Irish have been in camp for 2 weeks now. So I'm expecting a good game for them, and just tactically and defensively, they're so good. They're so good. You can't go against them on the handicap. Yeah, that's my view. So I'm on the Irish here.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You know, if they had priced up at 12.5, where I was more hoping they'd price up there than actually expecting them to. I certainly would have been on the Irish. I do rate them highly, but Argentina have shown some promise this season. They certainly had a couple of wins in the Rugby Championship, so they are perhaps an improved bunch. And let me bring you in there, Couch. What do you think of this one? We're clearly going to have a split amongst the other panelists. Which way are you going?
Brent, I think the big thing is it's difficult going against Ireland. As you say, they're runners for the World Cup. They're so balanced across the park. You know, they've got good backs, quality forwards. There's not a lot of weakness in the game. Defensively, they're well structured. And I think that's probably the difference between the two sides. I mean, Argentina at full flow they've got exactly the same kind of ingredients, except maybe that discipline and the defensive structure. I think those are the two differences between the sides. The big thing for me that's going to be interesting is to see whether Argentina found quite a bit of away form for a change. And I think that's something that's changed over the last season, and hopefully, they can take that to Europe as well. They've now shown they can take it to Australia, New Zealand, and a little bit of South Africa. But can they take it to Europe? I mean, your mind says they should be able to. They've got a lot of players that have played there in the past. So hopefully, again, if you're taking 16, 17, a late try by Argentina, and they're covering that. So you got to remember in these internationals, it's a bit different than Super Rugby. I mean, there's nothing to play for Ireland smashing them by 24 points versus beating them by 16 points. It could be foot off the gas when you're leading by 16 or 20 points. So it's a bit dangerous. I don't really like to go for those big handicaps. I think that might be a bit of seeking for trouble there, if you ask me. But it could be a bit closer than some people think, but not because Ireland aren't good enough, just because hopefully Argentina can scrap it out a bit.
Right, well, before I bring Gavin in, because he's itching to give his bet, right, I'm going to go back to Henrik quickly. I want to ask you, Henrik, am I right in saying Ireland play New Zealand next week, or is it the week after?
No, they're playing next week. That game has also been priced up for quite a while. So I see there has been money for the Irish. So they're playing next week.
Because just the one worry for me maybe with Ireland is whether one eye will be on next week at some stage in this game. That would be my one concern about a big handicap. But let's bring him in. He's itching to give us his tip on this game, I can tell you. It's his beloved Pumas. They're playing in Ireland, in Dublin at the Aviva Stadium. They're 16.5-point underdogs. And Oracle Rugby, where are you going?
Well, Brent, let's just go back to what Han said. Look, Ireland are obviously, obviously, they'll probably win the game. They'll probably win it comfortably, but comfortably in their mind might be 10 or 12 points, Argentina, let's look at what they did this year. They beat South Africa by 13. So they beat the 1-12s, all those 1-12 oaks out there. They beat them there. They went to New Zealand. Yes, they lost by 22, but that was the last minute. That game sat between 8 and 15 the entire match in New Zealand. Not at home, at the end of the tournament. They went to Australia. They beat Australia. They've had this is probably their best year in my rugby punting lifetime that I've seen for Argentina. Ireland are good, sure they are, and you're right, they probably could win the World Cup. But I just can't see Ireland beating this team by more than 20. In the past, in Ireland, they've beaten this handicap 2 out of 9 times. And, this is the best Argentina team that's out there, that's been out there for I don't know how long. I mean, I don't know. 2 out of 9, I just don't see it. I really don't. I haven't had a massive go here, but I'm looking at Argentina's price. They've beaten Ireland before. They haven't beaten them in Ireland, but they've beaten them before. And here you're getting, you could be getting as much as 10-1 about a team that beat South Africa, beat Australia, and did very well in New Zealand. I don't know. That just seems like a massive price.
Yeah, it is. Look, the handicap is big. I do like the Irish. I'm actually a big fan of Irish rugby, and I think they're building incredible depth in that Irish squad. And I actually think, Henrik, you touched on it earlier, and perhaps the way for, if you do fancy the Irish, you probably do fancy them for a strong defensive game. And maybe the way to do it, to take the big cap out of the equation, is to actually, and the other boys won't agree with this bet, it would be to go low on Argentina points.
Yeah, I would look to go low on Argentina points, and also another one might be to go for Ireland on the first half handicap, because I'm sure they will be. If you're scared that they're going to take the foot off the pedal in the second half and maybe take a few first choice players off to rest them for the New Zealand game, just go for the first half points. But I'll definitely have a look at that unders on Argentina points.
And what do you expect Argentina points to be?
Sorry?
What do you think Argentina points will be quoted at?
Handicap is 16. Yeah, I think it should be around 15 points, I reckon.
Okay. No, if we said a bit higher, I was going to try to tempt Gavin into another 500 rand bet, but I'll probably leave it. I'll probably leave it there at 15. Not sure I'll be getting involved at those levels. Guys, that brings us to the end of the show. I don't know what other rugby there's going on, but we've already spoken for quite a while. And certainly for me, the internationals are going to take a top stage. So let me go through each of you and get your best bet. If there is anything else you fancy on the weekend that we haven't discussed, or in any of the games, mention it as well. And I'll start off down in George with the man who's doubled the female viewership, HD Couch Critic.
Brent, I'm going to stick one on Wales in the box to do the job. The double there for me at 18-10.
18-10 double. Wales to win, the box to win. Henrik?
I'm on the box, Brent. I like New Zealand as well on the minus, but I like the box very strong. I've had a big bet on the box -3.5 and at 7-10, and also taking a bet of the 12-10 in the box half-time, full-time. So I'm expecting a very good game from the box.
And your best one, Oracle, we're talking Argentina, are we?
No, Wales, Brent, my best bet's Wales. In fact, if you want to go with Hahn there, you want the 18-10, take -7 or -8 Wales. You can leave South Africa out, watch and let it win without your money, and you'll still win the bet at 18-10.
That's confident talk there from Oracle Rugby. I'm not going to give you my best bet because, quite frankly, not in the best of form. So I'm going to think things through, but I will struggle to go against Ireland. I'm funny enough leaning England on the handicap, so we'll see how that goes. And at the moment, I know I've got a nice little interest in Australia there. I need them to score 21 points or more, and I just hope that roof is closed. Can you imagine my disappointment if the roof's open, Gavin?
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. There's a game we've left out. They haven't priced it up, but I'm actually interested to see what the three of you think the handicap will be. Italy are playing Georgia this weekend, and I tell you, this is a Tier 1 versus Tier 2 game. I know that these games are definitely hard for bookmakers. That's why they leave them out until very late. And I found myself doing quite well with these games over the years, especially in November, more so than in June. And I'm thinking the bookmakers are going to come out with about a -10 or -12 on this game, and I'm going to be all over Georgia. Well, when I say all over, probably be about 1.5 units, but for that particular fixture, it'd be quite a big bet. I don't know if anyone else has thought about that game. I know they'll probably come out with a handicap tomorrow or so.
Well, I must say, I did cap the game early in the week, and Brendan came in on the forum, Brendan O'Connell Coyle on the forum, what a delightful name. But he came in as well, and we both capped the game within a point of each other. We were both at around the 15.5 point Italy minus.
Oh, that sounds even better for me.
You'll be steaming in there. So let's ask the question. Let's go to Han. Have you considered that game, and do you agree with Gavin? Would you be steaming into the 15.5?
Yes, I think the only concern is I don't know what Georgia's recent form is. That's the only thing that bothers me. I have seen the team and Gorgotze. I know he's playing there at 8 man, so it looks like it's a pretty strong their first choice team. And I mean, I never see like a team like Italy smashing anyone. They're not used to it. It's not what they do. You know, they're not used to putting a team away. So I always think there if you can get like something like that, anything over 14.5, then I'll be on Georgia for the cap again. You know, I think they like to keep things dirty and tight, and that will suit them. And the Italians will try and play a little bit more fancy, and that might not come off for them. So again, even a first half handicap as well, Georgia to really push them at the start. And I'll definitely be interested, especially if it's something nice at about 14ish.
Well, I must say, looking at the comments in the live comment section and Gavin's comment, I think I've got a feeling Gavin could be right. They could come out closer to the 10.5, 12 point mark. And Henrik, let's finish off with you then. Which would you be still going for the plus? Any chance you'll be backing Italy on the minus?
No, I agree with Ian. You really can't see Italy putting a team away. So the Georgians, they've been good. They've really improved. So I think the plus should be the way to go. Yeah, I haven't done any research on this game as I haven't seen any betting, but I think Georgia on the plus is the right way to go there. Just one other thing before we go, Brent, you must enjoy your birthday on Saturday, and I hope the tide turns for you with your birthday. And you get
happy birthday on the 10th. I saw that on my phone, reminded me yesterday. That's right. Happy birthday,
Brent. Remind you of my birthday
cool.
a couple of days before. I mean, and Facebook only does that for specific people, eh?
I have it on my phone, not on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
It's just a pity. It's just a pity you're starting it with a 500 rand losing bet, eh?
Yes. I'll ask my wife for cash instead of presents, eh? Pay Gavin.
Yeah, Han is his birthday's going to go great until the final. Well, not even the final whistle. It'll be quite evident early on that Australia won't get to 20. So he might as well enjoy his birthday at lunchtime, because after that it's not going to be great.
Excellent, guys. Thanks very much for joining us on the show. It's been another great edition of the Handicap. As always, love talking rugby with these guys. Han, good to have you back from your trip. You're looking strong, and I must say, even your Wi-Fi signal looked a bit stronger tonight. You're looking, never seen you so close up before. Thanks to all the guys on the live comments. Remember, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you don't miss any of the shows. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel. Find the link on Twitter or on YouTube for our English Premier League show. That's coming up in about 15 minutes' time. And otherwise, just enjoy the rugby, good punting, and let's hope that amongst us, you managed to form some strong opinions and are ready to hit those bookmakers. Till next week, have a good one.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.